Welcome to MadHouse-Creations. My wife and I were at home the other day and she saw this Halloween sign that she really liked, but it cost like $140. And I figured for that price I could build something that looked a lot better and would probably last twice as long. So with that, let's get into the project. So for this project I needed like a sign holder. I ordered that on Amazon. I'll put a link below. And then I bought a newel post from Home Depot. I think it was a 56-inch one. The newel alone was about $60, so to save a little money you could just easily use a 4x4 post for this project, but my wife really wanted a certain type of look, so that's what we went with. So to make this metal sign holder fit on the newel, the flat spot of the newel, I just measured out the distance that I had and I just marked it on the metal and just took a cutoff wheel with my grinder and started cutting it off. While I was doing this I realized I probably shouldn't be doing this in the garage, so I took it outside and just finished it off. Once I had the ends all trimmed up, I just took a file and just filed off any sharp pieces, sharp corners that might potentially cut somebody. And what I ended up doing was cutting off the screw holes that were on there. So I had to go back with my drill and just basically drill 4 new holes for the screws. And to mount this thing on the newel, it was pretty simple. I just centered it on the flat spot and grabbed a couple of my 1-inch screws. I didn't really care that they were, they're silver screws because this whole thing's going to be painted anyways, so I'm just going to paint over everything, paint it all black. And to create a base for this sign, I just took a couple 4-inch L brackets and screwed them down to the sheet of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood that I had, and then attached them to the post. And doing it on all 4 sides like this, it made it really strong. I don't think it's ever going to fall apart on me. Once everything was all put together, I just took it outside, took some Rust-Oleum 2X spray paint and just in a satin black, and just proceeded to paint the entire thing. So to build the sign and the flower box around the bottom, I wanted this to kind of look a little beat up. So I had some old pallets around the back in the garden. I basically just took my Sawzall, cut all the nails, and dismantled these pallets. And this left me a good pile of weathered wood that I could use for different projects. Once I had everything torn apart, I kind of picked through the wood a little bit and grabbed 5 pieces that were relatively the same thickness and length, and then just laid them out on my table in whatever I thought looked good. I put a couple marks on there where I wanted to cut it. I think this sign ended up being about 18 inches by 22 inches. So I just took my track saw and then cut it on my mark. So to put this sign together, I was going to add a couple strips of wood to the back that I could glue it and screw it together. So I basically just took my saw and ripped some of these boards in half. And after they were ripped in half, I cut them down to 18 inches. I just flipped the wood over so the bad side was up. And I'm just going to take those strips and lay them along the back, put a little glue on there, and pre-drilled some holes for the screws. I was really worried about the wood splitting, so that's why I pre-drilled everything. I just did this for the top and the bottom and one in the middle, and this held it together pretty well. And once everything was dried up, I just grabbed my sander and just hit it real lightly and basically just round over the edges and remove any pieces that might cause a splinter. I really wanted to keep that old rustic look to it. And to hang this sign, it needed a couple eye hooks in there. So I just measured the sign holder and then just centered 2 holes and put some little eye bolts in there. And this will just allow me to hang it from the sign. Now to build this flower box that I'm going to put around the bottom of the sign, I just took some more of these slats of wood and those scrap pieces that I cut off from before and kind of did the same thing. Just laid them out so they're going to be 2 deep and then screwed a few pieces along the backside to hold them together. And once I had the box all built, I went around with my sander and just kind of did the same thing as the sign, just hitting all the edges, making sure there was no little sharp pieces sticking off or something that's going to break off later. And then I just took it outside, sprayed a little clear varnish over the entire thing, and once that had dried up, brought it back inside. I laid the sign down sideways just so I could slip the box over and around. And to attach the box to the base, I'm just going to pre-drill some holes in the plywood and then screw that box right down to the base. And the pallet wood was a little warped, so I put a few extra screws in there just to try and get it to flatten out some. And it worked okay, but it really doesn't matter in the long run. What I'm going to do with this base is use some 2-part epoxy foam to fill it. I was worried because the wood had quite a few gaps in there that it might just spill out. So I ended up taking some of this Great Stuff foam and just going around the edges, trying to get all the cracks, trying to get it to seal up a little bit. And it worked out okay. I still had a few issues, but I think overall it probably helped quite a bit. And then once that foam was in there, I didn't even let it dry. I took about a half a 1 gallon bucket of rock, and just put a layer along the bottom. This is just going to give it some weight, just in case if it gets windy or something that it's not just going to blow over. To finish filling the box, I took some of this 6-pound 2-part epoxy foam. I wasn't really sure how much I would need. The stuff is pretty old, and sometimes when it gets old, it doesn't foam up as much as it should. So this was just kind of me trying to use up what I had and not just throw it in the trash. It ended up working okay. The first batch I didn't foam up hardly at all, but the second two did pretty well. So I just mixed together equal parts of A and B. I did it in a couple different pours because, again, I wasn't sure how much it was actually going to fill up. So I tried to do it in small batches and then just mixed it together real well and just started pouring it in the box. And I did have a couple spots where the Great Stuff didn't really seal off as well as I thought. Some of that foam did leak out the side. I just grabbed some rags and some alcohol and tried to wipe off as much as I could. I knew I could break it off once it dried, but I didn't want it to screw up the wood at all, leave any kind of residue that would change the look of my box. So I just did my best, kind of babysat that for a little while, just kept wiping it, and then would squirt out some more and wipe it again. And after about 15 minutes, it was hard enough where it wasn't going to continue to squirt out. And there ended up being those couple little spots. I just went back with the little putty knife and scraped off as much foam as I could, hit it with a wire brush and a sander, and then just went back and clear coated those little spots. I think it turned out pretty good. You couldn't really see it after that. You probably couldn't see it anyways unless you knew what happened. Because this foam kind of overfilled in certain areas, I just took my oscillating tool and just tried to chop it out so it kind of sat about an inch below the surface of the box. It probably wouldn't have mattered just to leave it the way it was, but you know. And then to finish off the box, I just took some brown acrylic paint. I was just using up different browns that were half empty, so it took a lot of paint. A lot of this, once you cut that foam, it opens up all those little air holes. So it took quite a bit of paint to do this, but I just coated the whole top of this thing brown. So then it was time to start working on the sign. This was probably the most frustrating part of this project for me. I ended up painting the sign about 3 different times. This first time I screwed up and didn't mask off enough area so that as you can see, the big black mark. And then on the second time I tried using acrylic paint and I let it dry a little too long. So everything just started sticking to the stencil and it ended up ripping the paint off the wood. So at this point, I gave up on trying to keep the rustic wood look. So I ended up just sanding the whole thing down again. And this time I wasn't worried about trying to keep the old wood look. So I just gave it a good sand and smoothed it out the best I could, and then just took some white spray paint and gave it a good coat. And after the white spray paint dried, I went back with like a tan colored. And once both of these had dried, or at least as dry as I could get it was really humid the day I was doing this, so it was just sticky. It was a sticky mess. So I took quite a few sheets of sandpaper and just went over the whole thing. The look I was going for now is just something that looked like it was painted, quite a few times over the years. So I was just sanding it, trying to go through the layers, getting that white to show through the tan, but still leaving some of the tan. And it was pretty humid, so this paint never really dried that great. It just kept gumming up the sandpaper. So I went through a lot of sheets of sandpaper, but eventually got it where I wanted it. After getting the sign sanded, I just cleaned it off real good, printed out this stencil again, and got it applied to the sign for hopefully the last time. Once that stencil was on there, I made sure I covered everywhere that was not a stencil with blue painter's tape this time, trying not to forget any spots and just making sure everything's covered. I just hit them with a couple coats of spray paint, and before it dried, I started peeling the stencil off. And it worked out much better this time. I was a lot happier. Both the black showed up better on this painted wood than it did on the natural wood. And just overall, I think it worked out better this time. And then just to finish off this sign, I hit it with a couple coats of clear lacquer. And then it was time to finish off the flowers. So I ordered a bunch of flowers on Amazon. Only a portion of them actually showed up, so I'm just going to make it work with what I had. I basically just took a drill bit, drilled down into this foam. This foam's pretty hard, and then just pushed the flowers into the foam. I was going to glue it, but the more I think about this sign, I think it's kind of universal. It's not really like a Halloween decoration. So if I want to change it out, I can just make a new sign. You know, if I want one for Thanksgiving or Christmas, I just put new flowers in and change the sign on top, and away you go. So I just put some purple flowers down the middle and then some of this black grass around the edges. So then for the final touch, I wanted this sign to be visible at night. I found this solar spotlight, landscape spotlight on Amazon, put a link below, that has about a 6-foot cord to it, so you can kind of place that solar panel separate from the light. So to do this, I just took a larger drill bit, I think it was a 3/4 inch drill bit, and drilled a hole into that foam and pounded the spike into it. And this light can also be controlled on the app on your phone, so I was playing around with that a little bit, testing different colors and patterns. I think you can also sync it to music and stuff like that too. So once I had the light in there, I mounted the solar panel off to the side, you know, kind of right along the post where you're not really going to see it, and then just hid the wires in the plant. Now I might come back and put a little moss or something on the bottom just to help kind of blend that wire in. But for now, I'm going to take this sign outside, stick it in the yard, and I'm going to call this project done. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next one.